Welcome back to the Handbag Pursuit. I am Dahlia, your fellow handbag obsessed girl. I want to chat with you guys today because I feel like bags are getting just really expensive, and every time me and my friends go to the store, whether that's to, just shop around, get another white tee, or just, whatever it may be, of course we'll do a little loop around the handbags, see where there are, see, which ones we can add to our little wish list, or which ones are must-haves in the moment. But it's becoming more and more rare for us to buy a bag on the spot. And a lot of that obviously comes down to the price of the bags, right? I feel that a couple years back, maybe even more than that, honestly, let's call it probably 5 years ago, we felt like, you can go into a store, buy a nice bag for, let's call it $2,000, a decent bag, decent size, not just like a wallet on a chain, and be content and more than that, be like excited to have this bag, not feel like that you paid an arm and a leg, or that you had to like think twice about it, or maybe there was some of that, of course, because still $2,000 is $2,000, but there was a little less of that thinking of, oh my gosh, do I need this bag? Does it fit? Does it not? Like, is it duplicative? Is it another black bag? All of these things, where now we're phoning friends. I did that today, where, we're, okay, do I need this? Like, well, do I even wear the bag that's slightly similar as much? So would love to honestly get your guys' thoughts in the comments below on this, because I truly wonder, is it just me and my cohort of friends that are, struggling with this or thinking about this a lot? Or is it also like you guys? Today, for example, I, went to go get a pair of shoes, and my eyes caught this wonderful, gorgeous, honestly, it was so pretty, this Fendi baguette in the mini size, and frankly, in my favorite shade of green. And I second guessed. I'm like, when did Fendi become $3,900 for a mini baguette? I honestly was like, It's like, right? Because a couple years back, again, let's call it 5 years ago, you were seeing more and more frequent price increases. And, we're going to call out Chanel, right? Because they were the most dominant ones and continue to be so in the price increases, especially around that time, like getting out of COVID. So let's call it like 3-4 years ago. They kept hitting every couple months. They would do a price increase, especially on their classic bags, right? I'm not talking about their seasonal like designs, but more of the classics, the double flaps, boy bags, things of that sort. And I get their perspective, right? They want to be exclusive. They see the Hermes market. They see, what people are willing to pay, the Birkin bait, frankly, the loyalty to the brand. And they just don't want a lot of their bags, being sold on the secondhand market, which I totally get. But the reality is Chanel quality hasn't been the same, at least from their hardware, for many, many years on their classic bags. So when you get to a price point of, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 for a classic flap, it basically puts you in Hermes territory. And again, if given, an offer directly from the boutique itself, but it makes you really think, well, wouldn't I just wait? Or wouldn't I want, admittedly, a better crafted bag than something that just keeps getting a price increase? Which, sure, again, if you bought a bag before then, you're doing really good on return on your investment there. But all of that goes to show what's trickling down, right? Like these bags became more expensive. Other brands followed. Lady Dior's used to be, $3,000, $3.5, $4. Now they're $4, $4.5, $5, $6, and plus. Then you have Bottega, same thing. They were a lot more expensive. You had a new creative director come in. Prices increased. Now you could be paying $8,000 for a large size Andiamo. And that's a lot of money. That's not, your Saturday purchase where you just walk into a store and say, oh yes, I like that bag. Oh my gosh, yes, I'm missing that bag from my closet in my collection. I could have used that bag last weekend, and then going and buying it. And I keep seeing this time and time again, and it really impacting a lot of people. So I really feel like a lot of people don't talk about this enough, because the reality is a lot of influencers are getting handed bags. They're doing partnerships with all these designers, and that's amazing. And they're getting gifted amazing bags or discount in some way. And I love that, and I think that's awesome. But the average person isn't just going out and buying $4,000 bag on any given Saturday. It's just unrealistic to think so. So I just really would love your guys' thoughts on, does this impact you? Have you seen a different kind of behavior for your own selves in the past couple of years? Have you, maybe that's also like your lifestyle, right? Have you, maybe taken on more responsibilities than you did a couple years ago, where, those items were part of normal purchasing before, but now you have to be more, methodical about, and more strategic where you're putting your money, and more responsible with it, or budgeting just differently, right? So I think there's that aspect as well, where life changes and where you spend your money, frankly, will change with that. But it really just, it's still always shocking to me of just kind of that change, and frankly, at the rapid pace at which it happened. Or at least, again, that's how me and my cohort of friends are feeling. But oddly enough, or coincidence would have it, I guess, I just got a phone call from my friend, and she literally is at the mall right now looking at chocolate brown suede bags, which, of course, we're in the beginning of autumn, or fall or whatever, and suede is everywhere. Obviously, not revolutionary here. But she's like, Dahlia, I'm struggling. I'm looking at all these bags, and they're either thousands of dollars, and, or they're basically $500, and I'm going somewhere like Madewell, or I'm going to like Mango or Cost, and buying a bag for less than $1,000. And she's like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. And it's just funny because, all of these girls, my friend has a beautiful handbag collection. This is something she loves as well. So it's a common thing in our friendship. And for her to literally, as we're having this conversation, bring that up to me, I'm like, this is everywhere, especially for these seasonal bags. It's not like you're, debating between a black leather bag, then yes, buy it. But when it becomes these specialty ones, or these special bags, the sequin bag I saw today. So like all of these, you kind of take into that extra consideration, because are you going to pay $4,000 for a suede bag you're going to wear for 3 months and then put away? I mean, maybe I almost did. I still kind of want to, but again, it makes you think, right? Like, do I want to do that? Is there something else I would like instead? And I think it's an interesting question. I think it's an interesting time where, the average bag price, or the entry bag price rather, is easily $4,000. What's your take? Do you guys save for a specific bag in mind? Or are you guys still buying just whatever bags? Are you guys also looking at the secondary market? Are you guys, bookmarking things, or saving your little searches on the RealReal or Fashionphile, or Madison Avenue Couture, who obviously has an amazing collection of Hermes bags. Yeah, I'm so curious. Genuinely let me know in the comments below what you guys are thinking, where your headspace is, because I just really feel like the average person isn't with the same shopping behavior that they had a couple years ago. So yeah, hope that was interesting. I don't know, just my little take on being potentially priced out of the luxury handbag market. Let me know if your shopping habits have changed, if you feel that you're being more thoughtful, more intentional with your bag purchases, or has nothing changed at all, and maybe it's just my friends. But let me know, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. All right, bye guys.